ready for our very first match. Mentioned earlier on, it is a best of 7. Will Moist finally start putting together that synergy we know they can get? Or are Aogiri legitimate challengers to go to Rotterdam? Let's find out. James Bob and Curly on the call.
Thank you, Shogun and Corelli. This matchup is quite an interesting one. Aogiri, a team that's a bit of an underdog, just looking at the matchup on paper. But this Aogiri squad, they almost made it to the playoffs last Swiss stage in the Fall Open. They started out 2-0 in Swiss stage and then got reverse swept out of it. And that reverse sweep started with a 5-game series loss to Moist. So this is going to be a big challenge for them, but they do have all the tools in their toolkit to get a win here against a Moist team that looks to be unstoppable.
Not to mention, James, there's history between these teams already here in this season. They went to a 5-game series where Aogiri almost reverse swept Moist, which is becoming more and more of a theme in at least one of their Swiss games throughout the first 2 regionals here. So these teams have already played each other quite closely.
And we'll see how close this game 1 is. Rise trying to get the pass out to Joyo. Joyo rocking that Pele decal, and yesterday we saw him hit a breezy in it. So you got to watch out for Joyo, who was talking about on Twitter how much he's been confident in his mechanics lately.
Yeah, that's kind of scary, James. Honestly, you see a tweet like that come from Joyo, and if I'm on the other side of any of these teams, I'm saying, uh-oh, you got to put a man on him. You've got to keep up with his pace, because Joyo, we saw especially last season, halfway through it, Joyo could take over games with his mechanics alone. Speaking of mechanics, there's Rise with a double tap, and Moister on the board.
A huge double tap from Rise, and that's a nice pass from Astral. Astral, one of the best passers in the game, well known for his mechanics. But man, he sure can pass. Great assist from Astral to start things out. And that was just over 1 minute into this game. We see our first goal. Dizzy.
There's going to be a lot of talk about Moist and obviously their history, their mechanics, their players, but with Aogiri kind of coming onto the block, I really look at a guy like Stizzy. He's been really impressive individually. His recoveries and defensively, the defensive positioning for Aogiri has been superb, and it's one of the reasons why they've been able to make these deep runs in Swiss and make it out to the top 8. He's kind of that new kid on the block, and he's fit right into this Aogiri squad.
And this Aogiri team, they are a real threat, a dark horse in this event, I'd say. Stizzy, the newcomer to look at, and Europe is no stranger to young newcomers, are they, Kirill?
No, plenty of them. And we get full teams of them, is what it feels like. If you look at what is basically almost all of Liquid, and that's just what Europe does, man. I don't know what to say about these guys. There's something different with the players that they come up with, and guys that you might not even hear about. You see them on the pitch, and they kind of make you wonder, who are they? Because they're playing so well.
Salen dipping that off to the corner, getting it around Rise, who had the great start. Astral trying to 50 in the corner. Now Joyo will come and power that one through. Rise, the leak out, it pinches to the wall. Astral has it, trying to go into a 52 go, and the bump, but Joyo he might have been playing the 50, but didn't realize the bump came out on the goal line.
Yeah, I don't think he was expecting the bump. Now 2 demos come out. It's just Joyo as the last man. He's getting bullied around. Aslan had an open net. Astral was jumping in front of him. And Astral does come out with the save in the end. Some good demos coming out from Aogiri. They averaged the second most here in the Fall Cup at just over 4 a game. So it's going to be obviously a physical game from Aogiri already, as Dizzy takes one off of Astral and he makes the save once again.
Dizzy down to Aslan. You know, we talked about new players, but Aslan, a player that's been around for quite some time. I remember I first got to meet Aslan back at DreamHack Montreal on GC Aura, if you remember that tournament.
Wow.
So Aslan has been playing at the highest level for quite some time, having great success here so far with Aogiri, but now we see Salen getting bullied. Really no hope for that. I was on Stizzy's point of view. He just stopped driving.
Yeah, he kind of knew what was going to happen when he got Rise chasing after you. DK Salen had no boost, tried to go for the in-and-out save to make it back down to Joyo, and maybe if he had boost, he might have been able to make it down, but perfectly executed there by Moist, realizing they're in a 2v1 situation. And chasing after the last man is exactly what you want to do.
And Joyo had no boost, so I mean, Salen, the only hope would be to get around Rise efficiently, because Joyo wouldn't have been able to flick or do much, but I'm sure Salen wasn't really paying him much attention to how much boost Joyo had, and Ocelon will just turn and burn this one into the net.
What happened here? For Moist, all three players are behind the ball here. It just splits between Astral and Joyo. I think Astral might have thought Rise was going to get a better challenge, and with the way Astral was facing, he wasn't really able to make a play on it, which left it to Joyo, who was definitely not expecting it to make it that far. And Ocelon gets one on the board here for Aogiri.
A game that seemed like Moist would have on lock now in question. Joyo jostling Salen over Rise. Astral will sweep in and clear it out, but Ocelon keeps the ball in play. Joyo off the corner, Stizzy towards net. Astral, easy save. Salen off the wall, trying to get the pass out to the middle. We'll go for it again, but Rise will pinch this all the way out. And we have 30 seconds left in game one. Moist holding on to a lead, but starting to appear thinner and thinner.
Little jumpy there in the third man for Aogiri, and now getting caught out once again. It feels like a lot of the goals coming from Moist is just Aogiri mispositioned here, not in front of the ball, no one able to make a play. You can see Rise is a free shot in the corner of the box.
Well, Stizzy had I mean, he was so close to getting that double tap. Needed a little bit more boost. But you saw his teammates were playing as if he already had the double tap. And so when he missed it, that's all she wrote. And now Moist, they let Aogiri get within one with that misrotation, but Rise has had a stellar first game, scoring 2. And that one denied on the goal line as well. Great start for Moist.
Oh, absolutely. And then, Johnny Boy said that Moist is kind of up on this uptrend. I agree partially. I think some of these series have been a little messy from Moist. They still have that ice. Rise is still that guy to close out some of these series. And this is one of those series where I feel like if Moist is going to be the real deal again this season, they have to beat Aogiri. And they already have one time, as I mentioned earlier, in the Fall Open, but it was very close in a 3-2. And I think in this particular game one here in the Fall Cup, Aogiri didn't come out, I think, as strong as I expected them to. It was a bit of a muted start from them. I think Moist definitely took advantage of the opportunities given to them with some of that open space and some of the expectations not really meeting reality on some of the touches there. So Moist definitely more consistent here in game one.
Yes, they were more consistent. Rise just putting some shots on target. You also saw Aogiri. They had the double tap play with Stizzy where everyone thought he was going to get the double tap off the sidewall. It didn't happen. That kind of fizzled their game out. But the silver lining for Aogiri is that this is a best of 7. So they have a lot of time to recoup and regain and get back into the series. But Corelli, you said you have a few reservations on the analysis from Johnny Boy that Moist is on the up and up. We got to see them yesterday versus K-Corp, the team that knocked them out in the semifinals of the Fall Open. And Moist was able to take them down, and it looked pretty commanding as well. And Joyo was a big part of that series. Didn't even have to do much in that first game. So if Joyo starts to get activated, they might make quick work of Aogiri.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Moist definitely have that extra gear to click into. And what's funny is when I say something like that, they've actually performed quite well against most of the top teams. It's the team below that. They almost got reverse swept by Turbo Clappers. They lost to Vitality, who admittedly has been playing quite well here in this Fall Cup. But are they the real deal? That's another question for me as well. So for the teams under the top, I feel like Moist has been playing them a bit closer than I would have liked, at least for how comfortable I feel Moist should be playing against these teams below them. They've been quite close.
Moist have high expectations after their performance last season. Major champions, but lost a big piece of the puzzle with Vatira's departure. But Astral so far has been looking good, stepping in. Now in game 2, we're seeing offense come out from Aogiri. Stizzy will get another touch on that. It's going to make it awkward. Ocelon to the center of the field, but Astral will clear it out. Astral picking it back up. Ocelon that tip, shutting down the attack. Salen, tip high. Now going to the backboard, Astral will have an outlet pass and takes it, but it's cut off by Ocelon. And now the shot opportunity for Salen off the backboard. Joyo breaks up the play.
Oh, you wish there was a little bit more power on that touch from VK Salen. Stizzy was there waiting to chase after it. It would have been a perfect setup as Moist was a bit caught out. The last man was stuck on his goal line. That's an opportunity you feel like Aogiri, albeit maybe just a half chance, got to come out with a better looking shot as Joyo beats 1 and 2 now. VK Salen the third. Rise, here's a shot for him, but Ocelon makes the save to get back. And Aogiri just hanging on their own goal line.
Oh, it was fortunate for Aogiri that Astral couldn't get out of the way of that ball. That second touch, the first touch was great. It would have dropped straight down, but the second touch, launching it behind Joyo. Tough break for Moist. Now Stizzy with a 50. It's a good challenge, but Ocelon laid off. I think he was trying to fake out Astral, but Astral didn't bite.
Both players turned off there, and now an opportunity for Joyo, who's going back post. It was never on target. Astral gonna get the dunk and pass VK Salen, and Moist Esports strike first.
Yeah, big time dunk from Astral. Astral getting up very early, getting over Ocelon and off to the left. Calculated challenge from Astral, and it pays off.
And that's kind of a risk with how Aogiri's playing their defense. They're sitting a lot on their own goal line, making a lot of goal line saves, and a player like Astral, he'll come barreling through and position himself to win a challenge like that. And of course, it was a tough position for Aogiri, but you got to be careful on how far back you let your line go, because eventually Moist just starts crashing the net.
Oh, and now another chance, but Astral was deep. Didn't get the shot. Rise, first touch, trying to get the 50. Lands into a challenge, going for another challenge, but it didn't pan out. Salen off the backboard pass, the drop shot, and Stizzy puts it off target. They had Moist reeling, but couldn't put that one in.
That was a great opportunity. Again, a couple now here for Aogiri to put away. Stizzy behind that one, just wide of the net. Maybe another opportunity if Ocelon can poke this one up. Stizzy has options. Just gonna float to the other side. Ocelon and VK Salen both there, everyone committed. And now a race back to transition back to defense for Aogiri.
Ocelon, hard clear out. There's a pop. Astral was trying to get it over to a teammate, but ended up setting it up for Aogiri. Ocelon steals the corner boost, but Rise launches a hard clear down. Rise dodging a bump from Ocelon as well on the wall. Stizzy, blocked by Astral. 50 from Stizzy into a light hit down. Salen will doink it towards net. And has made things difficult for Moist. Salen, low shot, 2 go. Joyo will punch it downfield. Oh, there's a miss in the corner, but Salen will come out with possession. Pass down to Ocelon, and Ocelon got a piece of it, but Astral did as well and deflected it wide. These final moments, we've been seeing tons of chances from Aogiri.
Yeah, 7 shots, and maybe the 8th on the way. And I feel like a lot of it is VK Salen working himself in the midfield, cutting out a lot of the clears. That's a great dunk from Astral once again. Tough ball to deal with, and VK Salen again on the backboard. There to make a save, getting the job done on both sides of the field. Feels like he's the only one getting a touch on the ball right now as Ocelon gets a clear, but it's only as far as Astral in 20 seconds. Aogiri's got to go.
Rise to Astral in the corner. Astral, little touch out. So well handled by Astral, who almost gets the 50 as well. Will steal the boost before getting demoed. But this game, I mean, last game, it was all Rise. This game, it was all Astral.
Yeah.
Astral defensively, and then offensively, the only goal that Moist got was off the Astral dunk. Well played. Astral, I mean, why not? Have Astral tip it to the ground. He was just sitting on the goal line waiting for that ball to come out.
And that's smart, especially when it enters 0 seconds like that. I think for Aogiri, though, boy, they had a lot of shots here in this game. 8 against Moist, who they averaged the fewest amount of shots against them here in the Fall Cup. So to put up 8 is quite good for Aogiri, but with 0 goals, you kind of left scratching your head. VK Salen had 5 himself, and we talked about a couple of the chances that that Aogiri had. They just could not put something at least dangerous on frame. And you look back at the scoreline, this is only a 1-goal game. This one definitely could have been flipped on its head had Aogiri put anything near the corners.
And then you also think about that opportunity that Stizzy had. There, it was a pass out. Moist was caught out, and Stizzy sailed it wide. So tough break there for Aogiri. They had some opportunities, had some chances that they weren't able to close out. And now, you don't necessarily have to break the glass and smash the emergency button yet, Corelli, but we're getting close to that point for Aogiri.
Oh, definitely. And again, I think what's painful for these first 2 games is that I think Aogiri could have won both these games. And I don't just mean that, oh yeah, they had a little tiny percentage chance. No, I think they had a good opportunity to win in both these games, especially the second one where it was just a 1-goal game and they were out shooting their opponent. They were out shooting Moist. It's disappointing to walk away with no goals, and I think that's the biggest thing because they have great defense. The defense has actually been quite good. It's been dicey at some points, but whose hasn't here in this series? Moist also having those miscues as well. So for Aogiri, it's really about just converting on the opportunities afforded to them because they get plenty.
See if they can find that extra little bit to convert. Only 1 goal so far for Aogiri in these 2 games. Offense has been a struggle. Astral, who dominated last game, trying to start things out this game. And even in the first game, Astral lovely passing to set up opportunities and goals for Moist. Joyo didn't get the touch he wanted. It went right to Salen, who launched it back. Astral leaving it. Joyo blocked out. Stizzy with the mid boost. Aslan back up to Stizzy. Stizzy off the ceiling, trying to get the read, and he got it. He just blasted it off the ceiling. I was expecting a potential double tap, but no, it just goes right in.
Yeah, I think that was his intention, especially when he sees Joyo here. He knew he had to clear Joyo, but that touch was so perfect. The last man just didn't even realize how perfect that touch was going to be, and in the end, it just kind of goes straight into the net. And those are the half chances that we were talking about for Aogiri. When you get some space in front of the box on the opposition side, put something on target, and Stizzy certainly does that, and look what happens. Good things happen, and they're on the board first.
And that's a big boost for Stizzy. Stizzy, maybe not the start that he was hoping for, but has started to kick it into high gear. That first goal, and this first goal of the game for Aogiri, will it prove to be enough? Salen, the challenge. Astral back to the corner. Blocked out by Stizzy Rise. The bounce clear, it goes right to Aslan, and it's fortunate for Moist that Aslan only had about 1 small pad worth of boost. And that one deflecting off Salen, but Salen with the corner. See Stizzy and Aslan in the middle. The shot off the backboard.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Stizzy! Oh my! Stizzy came close, but not close enough.
I don't know if I've seen a double tap off the post like that. He almost got it through. But now here comes Moist the other way. VK Salen to slow things down. And boy, with a 2-goal lead, feel great. And now it's tied up with the pass from Joyo. Sauces it up to Astral. And a tie game here with 3 to go.
Joyo reading the defense perfectly. Saw Aslan so far back. And then knew all he had to do was beat that first attacker, Astral, in the right position. And he did not miss his mark. Great series so far all around from Astral. The team effort from Moist. Now Rise, there's a double commit on the back line from Aogiri. Astral around 1 into an air dribble, but Salen able to shut that down.
VK Salen making a good save here. Joyo, no options as Astral's trying to get a good dunk. Aslan and Stizzy. They've got Rise isolated, but Rise does a great job to slow this one down. Can Aogiri poke through once again? They've been knocking on the door multiple times through the last 2 games. That's a good pick. Here's Joyo, the last man. Stizzy brings it down, looking for the bomb. VK Salen gets it, and Stizzy dunks it through. Aogiri in the lead.
It's wild how much we see this play in RLCS now. The lead block play. Joyo didn't get bumped, but got zoned out. And Stizzy, and you could even see Stizzy was running away from a demo attempt from Rise. Well done from Aogiri. Like I said, Corelli, it wasn't a break the glass moment. And they recover nicely. Stizzy might as well get a hat trick. Well done.
And this is the young gun that I think Aogiri wants. You got to have a finisher. And with a hat trick, you just mentioned it, 5 shots to his name as well, perfectly placed, as that one could have very easily been saved by Moist. Aogiri now 3-1, and all of a sudden it's looking very familiar here as you got 2 minutes left to hang on, but they've been looking a lot better than Moist here in game 3, and they're looking to extend this series.
Astral 50 leaks out to Rise. There's a demo. A nice challenge from Joyo. A pinch out. Rise with the corner will be able to take over. Ground pinch. Sailing back to the corner of Moist. Joyo jumping off the goal line with a little piece of it. Sailing back to his own corner. Astral going to pinch this around. Oof. And Ostalon, good thing he got a piece of that because there was a Moist attacker waiting for that to come across the goal line.
Yeah, that was communicated. Rise was waiting. And now Astral tried to get a touch through VK Salen. As you can see, Aogiri's very happy with throwing numbers at the ball. This one came out to Stizzy. He was not ready for it, did not expect to touch right at him. And why would you?
Yeah, it's a bit sloppy for Moist.
And here comes Ostalon trying to get it up. He does so. Moist scrambling in their own box to get a hold of this one. Stizzy wants to take it himself. He got bumped on the follow-up. And he didn't have a ton of boost either. He's still on the ball here and lets VK Sailing come through.
Joyo beat to the ball by Ostalon. Astral with the save, but these precious seconds ticking away. As Moist not only need 1, need 2, just to force overtime. There's a late flip. And it was well defended. Ostalon, great defensive positioning there. And Aogiri look like they have firm control over this game and might as well get another one, almost slotting it, but I guess it just wasn't meant to be, Curly.
Yeah, VK Sailing, I think it looked like he had a flip reset, didn't use it. Ostalon, then it looked like Ostalon was going to come in and take a shot. Moist were very confused. And now nobody hitting the ball there. Jorby would call that a whifty-whifty. 7 seconds left, and Aogiri starting the march back against Moist. Here's another one for Stizzy. 4 here in game 3 for Stizzy. He's looked stellar for Aogiri.
But did you see the pass? Look at this. Oh, the backflip. Waiting till the final moment to use it, sailing off the ceiling, taking advantage of that late flip. And Aogiri, they pummel Moist. All 4 goals coming from Stizzy as well. And that has to be a little alarming for Moist and Moist fans, Corelli, to see offensively how dismal that game was for him.
This is what I was talking about, James. You had asked me earlier, what is it about Moist that worries me? It's games like these. It's not dire for Moist. They're still in the lead in the series. They were decent here in this game. It wasn't abysmal from Moist, but these are the types of games that I just kind of feel like they should be closing out a series like this. They shouldn't be taking their foot off the pedal. And I feel like against a team like Aogiri, Moist should be 3-0ing. And they've gone to game 5 once before, having to stave off the reverse sweep against Aogiri. And it's, like I said earlier, at the closing moments of that game, it's starting to look very similar, where Aogiri picks up that pace. They take over the game. They take control. And it felt like Moist was just playing the back foot for most of that game.
And I just wonder how much of that was Moist not playing well and how much of it was Stizzy just scoring. Stizzy, 4 goals, having a breakout game. And that's huge for Aogiri. They were, you could tell in the previous game too, Stizzy was so close to putting something together. This time, finding the pieces and making it work. Aogiri getting the win before things get dire.
And so now if you're on Moist, you kind of feel like they have to pick up that pace again. A lot of their opportunities that came early in the series came from crashing the net, the speed to the ball in the opposition's final third. Astral. He's been a huge playmaker for Moist so far, and he's been quiet in that previous game.
An interesting change. Joyo no longer on that Pele Octane. Says switch things up for a Fennec. And a lot of time, it's the same hitbox, Corelli, but sometimes it just is the mental. Oh, there was a team bump. Oh my goodness, look at this, is comical. Did you see that?
What?
Look at this team bump. This is hilarious.
Oh no. Oh wow. And they went far too. I mean, you can see Joyo has the entire half.
It was comical. That was
unlucky.
It almost seemed like slapstick humor.
You draw that one up to be a little unlucky there. Moist. Uh-oh, they might be piling on. Rise, second touch. Moist.
This is the mark of a good team, Corelli, is when you recognize that your opponents are struggling a bit and you have the ability to land that low blow. That was a low blow right there. Aogiri, despite that game win, have had a really rough start in game 4.
Yeah, that's definitely not the way you want to start. Here's another opportunity for Joyo and Aslan with a great read. You got to stop the bleeding here if you Aogiri go back to that high-paced offense. Gets Dizzy behind the ball. That's a great air dribble. VK Stalin puts one towards net. It's an easy save for Joyo in the end. And Joyo once more getting a touch to clear this one out.
Dizzy going for the block. Trying to get that read off Rise, but Rise saw it coming. Dizzy, backward pass. Good shot opportunity. It bounces off the crossbar and out. That is a must-score chance for Aogiri.
They're still on the ball here. Stizzy might work some magic. VK Stalin has an opportunity, but it's too high off the crossbar. Moist fourth man coming through huge, and now they might turn it on its head as Joyo tried to get a dunk through the defense. And once again, James, this was the criticism we had of Aogiri, is they've got to convert those chances afforded to them, and they come out with nothing, and I think 2 great chances there.
That was. To convert those chances. That was what was troubling Aogiri in the first games, Curly. That was what made the difference in those games, was a bit of inability to capitalize on the moments that they had. Astral going low. Aslan will pinch it out. Back pass attempt, and Talon will get a piece of it, but that very easily could have been flicked around. Aslan driving over the mid boost and getting it. He'll be able to keep on this attack, but Astral, the double tap. Bouncing it. Stizzy handled it well. Stizzy still on the wall. 50 out to Talon in the middle, and a quick shot.
What?
Stizzy, I thought was going to steal it, but Talon recognizing that all of Moist was out, and this has not been the first time we've seen this between Rise and Astral.
Yeah.
No one being back.
And that's why I have such a shocked comment every time I see a goal like this go in for Moist. They traditionally have been so rock solid in that rotation, and now a couple times, like you've mentioned, Aogiri has poked it through. We saw that miscommunication a game ago where it just split a couple of players on the Moist side as well. And everyone was a bit too far pushed up from Moist there. And way too much space given to Aogiri to take that shot.
Now another shot opportunity, but Talon was a bit too wide on it. Didn't even make contact. Now looking for a bump on Joyo. Joyo jumping around. Talon 4 boost. Not the best clear. Aslan helps him out. Stizzy into an air dribble. Joyo.
Oh, he's got it.
Back, and Stizzy ties it for Aogiri.
Joyo couldn't even jump. He didn't even have boost to work with here. 0 in the tank. He picked up a pad, but Stizzy was going all the way to the house, and Joyo couldn't make a play. How big has this Dizzy pickup been for Aogiri? He's been phenomenal here against Moist.
4 goals last game. The tying goal there, Stizzy. You know, he's having a great series so far. Going to take a full series of work from Stizzy to take down Moist. But so far, Aogiri seem up to the task. Rise, the pinch, out to Aslan. Aslan flip reset. Joyo got a little piece of the ball. Astral trying to force the issue. Rise towards net. Stizzy clearing it off the goal line. Joyo, nice catch in the corner. Set up for Astral. Astral decides not to go. It proved to be the right call. Now cleared out to the other corner. Rise, high ball. Everyone on Moist was low boost, had to retreat. Astral trying to make players miss in the corner. Stizzy out. Joyo doesn't dive in. Instead waits at the midfield, and now we'll lose possession. Rise. For ground pinch, didn't hit it. Rise playing it slow. Going for 50s. But the patience proved to not pan out.
Well, there's a lot of patience there defensively. Now they got to make a big play here. Astral off the corner. Off the frame. Astral again denied. Stizzy this time. Ocelon making the save. And Stizzy with a huge clear.
That was a dire situation for Aogiri, but they hold on. Still not over yet. Astral, the tip around one, Stizzy to the wall, won't be able to get there in time. It's hit back to him, he misses, sailing backwards. The 50 launches to the corner. Astral pinching it back in. Still panic on the defensive end for Aogiri. Can they hold on? These final 10 seconds gonna be tough.
An onslaught here from Moist. Slippery set. That one's coming out dangerously to Rise. He's playing it slow. Rise gonna put it home. 4 seconds left, and Moist in the lead.
It felt like those final 10 seconds, that might be enough time for Moist to finally break through, and it was. Rise delaying the shot, winding it up, and finding that far post.
So much patience. Such a mind game in that box. Both teams were playing each other on who was going to take the touch and force the tackle. And Rise, so patient behind that ball, earns Moist a win here. Such a smart play from him. And again, how many times is Rise going to score with like 5 seconds on the clock as the game winner? And that guy does that way too much.
Well, you know what, Corelli, I think we're going to take some time. Timeout here for Aogiri. And I think you got to call a timeout here. And I hate to be a downer, Corelli. I really do. But you feel like if Aogiri was going to be able to pull this upset off against Moist, that game was a necessary piece to the puzzle.
Yes. With how close it was, especially because I don't think this is Moist's best day so far. And for Aogiri, they have a huge opportunity, and they've been given a lot of opportunities as well to take some pot shots at the Moist side. And I think they've done a great job at that. Stizzy's been a great offensive force, but that defense cracking in the final seconds, you would love to see an overtime there at the very least, because it feels like Aogiri just barely couldn't hang on for the final seconds of that game.
They just needed possession. I mean, overtime at least puts you back even.
Yep.
They were so deep in the boost trench, they just couldn't dig themselves out.
I think for Moist, this was a kind of a return to form. This was something that I was asking for, is crash the net, keep the pressure on, relentless attack, especially from Astral. And he's cut that rotation so much. Johnny Boy mentioned it on the desk as well. I think that's a really good point, is that he likes to turn back into that play. That's what gives all of the Astral teams that we've seen him on that kind of unrelenting pressure. And he's doing it here against Moist because he's so smart in knowing when to turn back around, cut in front of that rotation. And that communication and trust between his teammates is really important as well, to recognize that it's happening. And you can see what it does for a team's offense. Moist, shot after shot, opportunity after opportunity, and possession is the key word, to hold onto that ball for so long. That's what gave, finally, Moist the opportunity to win.
And Corelli, you really do you got to start focusing on the major and getting to the major. And with a European region that has been, especially in this event, so chaotic for Moist, this is massive. They are going to not let off the gas whatsoever. One more game win, and they'll be securing that top 4 spot, locking in those extra points, and it makes their chances of going to Rotterdam that much better.
You want to go to LAN, you got to beat the big boys. For Aogiri, this is the opportunity. They've got to dig deep. This is not going to be an easy matchup. And coming off that timeout, you hope that they can bring something new to the table. Astral right now passing to Rise. That shot directly at VK Salem. As right now, Moist looking to just take back over.
Astral, long air dribble. Joyo trying to pinch. He does get it, and it's in! What? Joyo! That was lovely!
My guy's tweeting about his mechanics. Look at his pinches as he gets it. Actually came off the wall.
He just waited for his flip.
Yeah.
It was like the most close double tap you could possibly do off the wall.
Yeah.
But you could just tell from the way he was setting it up, that was what he was going for.
Oh, absolutely. And it worked out. And for Moist, that is a demoralizing goal for Aogiri. And hold on a second. Aogiri gets one back here. Ocelon puts it away for the pass from Stizzy, who's just working up the sideline.
Oh, how demoralizing was it? Aslan able to slot that one through, and more confusion. You see Astral and Joyo both covering the same exact spot on the back wall. It seemed like there was a bit of confusion, some boost issues for Moist. Gonna have to figure that out. You wonder, Corell, is it because Wasteland is so dry that Moist is struggling?
Oh my, where'd you get that one from? You just come up with that one?
I did.
I haven't thought of that one before. That's good, James.
And did I believe though that they lost Aqueduct, so, or maybe they won.
Well, yeah, it would prove you wrong if they were to win here. So we'll see. We have to get a stat on that. We got D-Rec on it.
Yeah,
we got D-Rec on it.
They won. So it all makes sense. Joyo in the corner. Now Astral laying off. Look at you see just Phelan waiting, saying, "Okay, all right, someone, feel free to come." Stizzy the drop pass, and Rise almost had an angle there. The defense from Aogiri caught out just for a moment, but able to get back in time. Miss from Stizzy. Little pop. Astral getting a piece of it. Stizzy back to the corner. Stizzy staying upfield. Miss from Rise. And Aslan will launch to the other wall. And gets up to beat out Joyo. Joyo didn't get the mid boost either, and that allowed Aslan to get it on his way in, which allows him to go for this ball here. Now off the ceiling. Dangerous. Aslan almost reading that. Joyo trying to clear that down. Now a chance for Stizzy. Stizzy, he got 50'd. Rise with an important challenge there. That will relieve tons of pressure for Moist.
And Aogiri's line was really pushed up there. It was a full court press from them. And that was great work from Moist. You got to give him credit defensively. Done a great job to push off that Aogiri offense. And they've been a little stingy. They'd like to have their first man on Aogiri really chase the ball around inside the box. They kind of let him work, and they're very patient to see if he wins a challenge or just forces a tackle and make the ball kind of pop out for them. So you can see how ball chasey they get in the box, and it works quite well. Now Astral almost had Rise there at the top of the box, but Aogiri does well to deal with it.
Astral pop around two. Pinch pass attempt. It was a nice ball, but Aslan was expecting it to be right. And now pinch out. Joyo almost in position for the shot. And now Salen, big lob. A miss from Astral. What? And it's in! The long-range shot from Salen finds its mark.
Now I'm curious if Astral, he comes up and he tried to press the ball, but then the shot just came too quickly. He couldn't get there in time. I thought maybe he might have just went into it a little bit late. But no, he reacted just in time. It was the perfect shot right over his head. And Aogiri sitting in the lead.
And those are always really tough situations as the third man when your teammate puts a pass off the wall. You know, it's like you have to do that calculus in the moment of, do I go for it? You know, is it better to go for it? Or, you know, do I rotate back? And now Joyo! He ties things up for Moist when it was starting to look pretty bad. But they get their feet back under him, Krill.
Tough bounce there for Aogiri with that touch from Astral, and Joyo was perfectly positioned to read that bounce when it was so rough, and a quick response from Moist puts us back at 2s apiece.
Aogiri, oh, there's a big bump. Aogiri had a close game that they dropped, Corelli. They're gonna need this win here. They have their backs to the wall. On that one, almost going in, rebound opportunity, and that's dropped by Joyo.
Hat trick for Joyo, and a shot that was very weak here. Stizzy was just trying to read the play, but Joyo does a great job to go under him, and with Stizzy as the last man, that one's gonna bounce in uncontested. And Moist come roaring back here in Game 5, and they're looking to take this series in the final minute. See if Aogiri has anything left in the tank. As their offense has been stifled, Moist have kicked it up a notch. They clamped down on the offense of Aogiri. We have not seen it for the last couple minutes.
Well, there's a big pinch, though. This could be awkward for Joyo. Stizzy not able to get a piece of it. Joyo even getting his own boost, now in position to receive a pass for Astral. Instead goes for the bump. Astral went for the flick. And the attack dies out. Astral over Rise had pre-jumped. So that dies out. Stizzy to Ocelon. Ocelon slowed down by Rise, who's back to the ball. Tried to get the flick, but it wasn't enough. Now Joyo off the sidewall. Last chance. There's a double commit from Aogiri. And now the leave from Astral. Final seconds tick away, and that's going to do it. Moist in 5 games take down Aogiri and are moving on to the semis.